Hey there, it's Tito here at the Buckeye Blitz. Welcome to the Buckeye Blitz, powered by Fanstream Sports, powered by DSPV also. I'm Jeff Thitoff. You can follow me on Twitter at ThitHappens. We have so much to get into today. Also, go and check out the Fanstream Sports app, available for Apple and Android users, and totally free. Programming on the go. We got a lot of great shows that we are adding into every single week. The website, fanstreamsports.com, and also join the Fanstream Sports Facebook group to interact with other hosts and fans of other shows we have. And like I said, we have a lot going on right now with Fanstream Sports. I wanted to talk to you today about the Ohio State Athletics Hall of Fame. Braxton Miller will be inducted into the Hall of Fame this year. And Miller was such a dynamic quarterback for Ohio State. In his first season, he started 10 games, had 1,159 yards passing, 13 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, and had another 715 yards on the ground. And I think he scored 7 times that first year. But then he was a 2-time Big Ten Offensive Player of the Year, which was unheard of at the time. He threw for 4,133 yards, 39 touchdowns, and 13 interceptions. Also ran for 2,300 yards, 23-39 actually, 25 scores. Ohio State, remember, had that undefeated season back in 2012, but the NCAA, they were banned from postseason competition because of the tattoo gate that went on, and they had a 12-2 season in 2013. He got hurt. And had a very serious shoulder injury, similar to what Drew Brees had, and that's when J.T. Barrett took over, and then you had also Cardale Jones that year. But after his career was over, he got drafted. The Texans took him in the 3rd round back in the 2016 draft, had a couple good years there. But Braxton Miller, the spin move against Virginia Tech was going to be something that's going to live on in infamy in Ohio State football history, but that's a big deal. He's going to be inducted into the Ohio State Athletics Hall of Fame. Also, Jeff Logan. There are, they 12 or 13 people, but I just want to highlight some of the ones that might be most relevant. But Jeff Logan, he was running back for Woody Hayes in the mid-'70s. He backed up Archie Griffin for a couple years. And then in 76 and 77, he started for the Ohio State Buckeyes. He was actually a co-captain in 1977. He had 1,890 yards in his OSU career and still very much involved in the local media following Ohio State football. Does a lot of stuff for 610 WTVN in Columbus, but has been around the program ever since then. But Jeff Logan, an important player in the history of Ohio State football. Greg Oden also getting in. He had the one magical year in 2006-07 when he helped Ohio State win the Big Ten regular season and postseason championship, and then went to the NCAA championship game that year. That 2006 recruiting class also had Oden's high school teammate, Mike Conley Jr., David Lighty and Daquan Cook. Conley Jr. still playing in the NBA for the Minnesota Timberwolves, a very important player for them. But Oden had the obviously disappointing NBA career, drafted number 1 overall, ahead of Kevin Durant by the Portland Trail Blazers. And then Oden had very little success because of injuries in the NBA. Went back to Ohio State, was a grad assistant for a while. But Greg Oden, though, getting inducted, rightfully so, despite just 1 year here at Ohio State. But that class with him and Conley and Cook and Lighty was an important recruiting class in the history of Ohio State basketball that Thad Matta was able to bring in. And Ohio State had, a fantastic year that year. Gene Smith also stepped down from the AD post he's held since 2005. He is also being inducted into the Hall of Fame, and very cool for him. Look, Gene Smith has had to deal with so many changes in college athletics since he came on board at Ohio State. And not just like the NIL stuff going on, but he had to go through so many different things at Ohio State that the way the college sports landscape has changed, specifically football and basketball, but also NIL and everything else, the expansion of the Big Ten, the media rights deals, all those things Gene Smith went through. He was truly an incredible AD for Ohio State, and good for him stepping down. And now you got Ross Bjorken, obviously, who came over from Texas A&M. But Gene Smith, though, getting inducted also into the Ohio State Athletics Hall of Fame. Can't wait to see that. Other move for Ohio State. Other moves. They added a new baseball coach. They hired Justin Hare. And Justin Hare, he was born in Hamilton, Ohio, played at Bowling Green for 2 seasons, then played the University of Indianapolis after that. He had a lot of success at Campbell in North Carolina, the school of Campbell. And in the last 10 seasons, he won 317 games while in charge of the program at Campbell. Over 30 wins a season. He was named the Big South Coach of the Year 4 times in 18, 21, 22, and 23. Think about that. It's hard to be named Coach of the Year more than once, because once you've won it, it's like, oh, yeah, they're a good team. They should be really good. And then you win it again and again. that tells you that the media and also the coaches really appreciate what he was able to do. The Camels went to 5 consecutive Big South regular season. They won 5 consecutive Big South regular season titles from 18 to 23. They won 4 Big South tournament titles in 18, 19, 22, and 23. Reached the NCAA regionals 5 times. They won 7 NCAA tournament games. Ohio State certainly needs that. They've got 13 of his players were in the MLB draft. 18 signed professional contacts with MLB organizations. He's coached 3 Big South Players of the Year, 3 Big South Pitchers of the Year, and 4 Big South Rookies of the Year, and 10 All-Americans. So a huge deal there for the Ohio State to get this guy into the baseball program. And I love the fact Justin Dayer is going to be there. I think it's a step up for Ohio State. I think they have somebody who really is going to be invested in the Ohio State program, which they haven't had for a while. Other news, Celeste Taylor, the Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year last year for Ohio State on the women's side. She was waived by the Indiana Fever in the WNBA. She appeared in just 5 of the first 18 games, averaged just 3.2 minutes a game. I thought she'd get a better look in the WNBA. I love Celeste Taylor's game. Someone's got to have room for her. I know there's not a lot of spots on WNBA rosters, but somebody's got to give her a chance. She is an incredible defensive player and a great team player. I'm very shocked that Indiana waived her. Indiana had her, and they also had Kelsey Mitchell on that team and Caitlin Clark. I know Kelsey Mitchell, another former Buckeye, was also a little surprised that Celeste Taylor was waived in the WNBA. The pairings and times of CBS Sports Classic and men's basketball were revealed. The games are at Madison Square Garden this year, December 21st. There's a lot going on there's a couple NFL games that day. You've got college football playoffs. You've got 3 games that day, a triple header. So it's going to go up against some pretty tough competition. But December 21st, Madison Square Garden. UCLA is going to play North Carolina at 3 o'clock. And then Ohio State takes on Kentucky at 5:30. And I'm not sure how the CBS Sports Classic is going to advance going forward because UCLA now in the Big Ten. And so it used to be a thing where you'd rotate the teams around. Ohio State would play Carolina one year, Kentucky one year, UCLA one year. That won't happen anymore because of UCLA being in the Big Ten. So we'll see what happens with that. There's no word now on how they're going to handle that within the CBS Sports Classic. I hope they continue to do it. I don't know if UCLA has to come out or how they want to handle that, but we'll see what happens with that. But yes, on December 21st, you've got UCLA and North Carolina at 3 o'clock. Ohio State takes on Kentucky at 5:30. Kentucky completely revamped roster and coaching staff. And also, obviously, it's a lot of competition going on in sports and TV on that day. We also learned the Buckeyes will play a road game on November 15th at Texas A&M. That's the return from hosting the Aggies here last season. I'm excited about this. So we know Ohio State's got Texas and Las Vegas. They've got A&M on November 15th, and they also have December 21st for the CBS Sports Classic. I can't wait to see how the rest of the schedule shakes out for Ohio State and how aggressive they'll be with Jake Diebler's schedule in his first year as an Ohio State head coach, because it's it will be an Izzo type situation where they just they try to schedule a bunch of tough games. Will they try to even it out? That'll be interesting to see. Tayson Chapman, by the way, for Ohio State, he was an incoming freshman last year and had a lot of hype. Didn't really live up to it, but they expected more from him coming in this year. Chapman, though, has suffered a torn ACL. He is out for the season. In the summer practices, he got hurt. He's gone for the season. So we'll see how Ohio State fills that void. They've got another spot still of somebody they're trying to replace. Like they bring in they have a scholarship available. We'll see what the Buckeyes do with that. But Tayson Chapman, out for the season. He was looked to be someone important for the upcoming season. By the way, check a look at the bottom scroll there. You can see the Ohio State football schedule for this year. I talked about it earlier, but Ohio State in 2025, not this year, next year, was supposed to play Connecticut in the middle of October, and now they've canceled that game. They're going to play against Grambling State back in September, early on in the season. Ohio State will start off next season with Texas. All right, that's it for the Buckeye Blitz. Follow me on the X at That Happens. Chime in. Let me know what you think of the show and whatnot, and we will talk to you next time. This has been the Buckeye Blitz on Fanstream Sports, powered by DSP Media.